I told you this was gonna be a thing that was gonna happen. So, anyways, I tried doing this a little bit ago, but fun fact, I didn't know how to work this whole thing. And by the time I did, I had already watched episode 1 and gave my reaction to it. But the thing is the volume, like the desktop audio volume was up all the way and you could not hear me talking over the video. So, we're not doing episode 1, um, because I already watched it. So we're gonna start off with episode 2, and we're gonna see how that's gonna go. For those who quite literally don't know what the hell I'm talking about, this is a brand new series on my channel that I made up on a whim, where I sit down and I rewatch the Metal Fight Beyblade series in its entirety because I have not watched it since the 11th grade, which is gonna be coming up on 4 years now. Without further ado, just because I'm bad at intros and it is currently almost 2:30 in the morning, we're just gonna do this. And it's gonna be both 2 and 3 because I don't have to work tomorrow. Is this a smart idea considering I do end up have to get up early anyways because I'm going out on a date with my girlfriend? Maybe, but I never said I had good ideas, so let's just get this over with. Look, you can see how weird my display is on here. Okay, so I already got it set up on my Tubi. Not sponsored, by the way. So, my captions on? No, my captions are not on. I need my captions to be on because I am quite literally just stupid. So, here we go. Um, yeah, let's do this. The nostalgia, the nostalgia. Turn this down a little bit. I remember when I first tried to do this reaction with the first episode. I remember I went on like this whole spiel about like how there will be times where I'll be watching a series and I could just get into like full character analysis a little bit. I'm sorry if I like seem just, but I'm a little high right now, so you know, as one does. But how the fuck is messaging me? Okay. Um, you just do into like full character analysis videos because why not? I know for a fact I got into like this big spiel about how like I really didn't care for Kenta's character at first. And then he got like really, really good character development, especially in theory, and it was amazing. And I loved it. I still love it to this day. And I remember I got into like this really big ramble about how like it's so interesting because I first got into this series when I was 8 years old. I believe I was in the third grade. And um, you're watching it as a kid and you don't really have like that much of a perspective other than, oh, this is cool, this looks so cool. you know, all that kind of stuff. Um, okay, Fiona. Um, but uh, but like, and then I got back into it in the eighth grade when I was 14, and I had a slightly different perspective, but it was more, I more just kind of watched it in a perspective of, um, I miss the series and I haven't watched it since I was a kid, and then I fell out of it kind of again, and then I got back into it when I was 16, and I once again had a different perspective of it, and I was like, wow, this show is a lot darker than I remember. And I still have that perspective when I go on about this from the things that I do remember about this series. Because, and you know what? I am going to make a list about this. I'm going to make a tally mark for everything in the show that I considered dark that happened. Where are any of my pens? Do-do-do. I did not like that delivery. Like, no shade to Jenga's voice actor, but I did not like the delivery on that. This is the one that works, okay. Fair warning. Um, Ads do pop up in parts of the episode, so I'll do my best to edit that out. This will be slightly edited once I learn how to use my editing software. So, you know. No, Jinga, you're really just traveling to hunt down Ryuga to avenge your dead dad. Something that I will forever stand by, and I have since I was 14. Um, Jenga and Madoka have always made a very cute ship, and to this day, I still ship them. And you know what? People can fight me on that. People can genuinely fight me on that. I've always thought they were cute together. It was, it's the dynamic of stupid and puts up with stupid because they love him. They love them. That is the dynamic. It's Stan Madoka, by the way. Yeah, I'm gonna make this highly chart. There you go. Every dark thing in Metal by Beyblade. I don't remember any if there was anything dark in the first episode because again, I am a little up there right now. Should I be doing this while in this state? Probably not. But you know what? Okay. So, side note, that's actually a tattoo that I want on like my inner arm right here of Sabby. Not because of this, but because of Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean. I asked anyone, you guys like my tattoos? And they cool. I have this one, my sunflower that wraps around my arm, my Hellsing, my Attack on Titan. I have a supernatural one and a Pirates of the Caribbean one. Thor's the runes for Thor's name on my back too because I'm pagan. Fun fact. Harry Potter one that I kind of regret getting. I say kind of because it's Harry Potter and it was created by J.K. Rowling, who is a god awful person. But the kind of is because it's matching with one of my best friends. So I don't regret getting a matching tattoo with her. I just regret getting what it was of matching wise. So, you know. And then right by that one, I have the my amazing, wonderful Breakfast Club tattoo. So, the next one is gonna be my dog's paw print. Either probably right here or right here. I haven't decided yet. Um, somewhere on my arm because it's coming up on a year since I lost my dog, and she was my best friend. Love you, bestie. But yeah, there's a lot of tattoos I want. A lot of them are just more really smaller ones. I have a few big ones in mind. A One Piece one I want to get, and then I have a really cool concept for two of them. I want a Celtic Tree of Life with Thor's hammer down the center of it. Uh, or like, yeah, Celtic Tree of Life with Thor's hammer on my leg. And then on this leg, a really cool concept for a Dragon Ball one. The base of my leg is gonna like have the Dragon Balls on it, and then it's gonna have like Shenron writing on my lower part of my leg. So Um, and then I want like a semicolon somewhere. Um, um, a skeleton one somewhere because I love skeletons. Probably right here because it's like the perfect spot for one. A One Piece one, which I think I already mentioned. Getting a fairy tale one. I'm gonna get a Ninjago one for Kirby Moro. Rest in peace. Let's see. What's another one I want to get? I want to get a lighthouse because I love lighthouses. A Night at the Museum one. Um, that's all the ones I can really think of off the top of my head right now. I have like a bunch saved on my Pinterest that I thought about for characters. So, Stan Ben K, honestly, like, not at this point, but as soon as he gets his character development and becomes a good guy, we honestly stand Ben K. Like, I feel like everyone needs a Ben K in their life. But even though I wouldn't really consider, well, this could be considered a dark thing for a children's show. I don't know. Like, part of me wants to put Talon down just for the fact that Kiyoya is like 14, is the leader of a gang. I'm putting that down. I don't know. To me, I feel like that's dark, but then again, I live in America, so that really goes to show how much faith I have in my country. If it wasn't for the time and effort that would be put into that wig, and I procrastinate on everything, I procrastinate on my own writing, which is sad coming from someone who is an aspiring author. You can really see how well that's going. I would cosplay Kyoya if it wasn't for the fact that so much time and effort would have to go into that wig. But my best friend, he, I call him stupid. He's the one I call stupid and dumbass and like all this other shit. And who contacts me 17 times a day while I'm at work because he's needy for attention. He cosplays Jinga. And honestly, part of me just wants to put the time and effort into that wig, even though I know I won't have the energy to, just because of that. But he also wants to cosplay Kiana. So I feel like, I don't know where I was going with this. I've always wondered, can they see, like, the spirits that's in their bays? Or was that just, like, some form of, like, visual thing for the audience? That's something I've always wondered. That is probably a very stupid question, but who knows? Oh no, Jingo lost his magical scarf. I think another perspective change for me was when I was 14 and in 8th grade and got back into the series, I never understood the hype around Kyoya. Like, as a kid, I thought he was cool. And I was like, oh my god, I like him so much better than the main character. And then I was 14 and I wanted to be edgy and different and not like other people. And I was like, I don't see the appeal to Kyoya. I don't understand why so many people like him. He's kind of a jackass. And then 14-year-old Artemis grew up and became 20 years old and realized Kyoya is not that bad of a character. Why is that? Is because you were 14 and you thought you were gonna grow up to be like fucking Jenga or something and like perfectly happy in life, even though I can guarantee you Jenga is not happy, but that's a full character analysis video for another time. But like some like this perfectly happy person who is so full of optimism and nice to everybody, when in reality Artemis grew up to be a very grouchy 20-year-old who is constantly tired and lives off of caffeine 90% of the time and 2 hours of sleep. That is what I grew up to be. I grew up to be a jackass like Kyoya. And maybe that's why I like him now, is because me too. Am I proud to admit that I am a jackass? Not really, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not. But when I was 14, I just did not understand the hype and the appeal. Um, that's because I wanted to be different. And then 16 years old, I was just all like, I don't really have an opinion. And now I'm like, why did I think that? Kyoya's not a bad character, and he got relatively pretty okay character development. It's not the greatest character development in the world, but it was definitely good character. Hi, Doji. But it was definitely character development. But I really think his character development could have gone more. It definitely could have been more, but it was we got character development him for him at least. Um, so that's a thing like that. We at least we got it. Episode 3. We're not watching the intro. Why can't I skip the intro? I can skip intros on my phone. But anyway, as I was saying, I definitely feel like Kyoya's character development could have been more. But again, that's a whole video I can make for another day. But honestly, I feel like this is another thing I can do to expand my channel. That way, it's just not one thing that y'all are like waiting 5 years for an episode to come out of. Um, it's just something to keep you guys entertained. Is like I guess kind of character analysis videos because, like I said, I can go into a whole character analysis on Jenga of why he's genuinely probably not the happy-go-lucky person that we know him as. Because boy's got trauma. Boy's got trauma that I feel like no one talks about. And then Kyoya, while he got character development, definitely was not the character development he deserved. Something like I've always have admitted for like the longest time is like something I thoroughly enjoy is like Kyoya and Benkei's friendship. Because while yes, it could be seen as it definitely has its flaws, as every friendship does. Because Benkei definitely places Kyoya upon a pedestal that he definitely should not be placed upon. But he respects Kyoya, and Kyoya genuinely respects Benkei, and he very much cares about Benkei. He thoroughly cares about Benkei, and I feel like no one talks about it. No one talks about their friendship, but I feel like that's something that should be talked about. Doji, what was the point? What was the point? Something I will proudly admit, however, Doji was a good villain in my opinion. I think he was thoroughly a very interesting villain. And I feel like they definitely could have done more with him. While I understand the main antagonist, at least for this series, is Ryuga, they definitely could have done more with Doji, and I feel like they should have. Because he was a very interesting character. And there's something else that I am not so proud of that I'm gonna keep to myself. My friend Leona knows. She knows. I don't know if they're gonna watch this video, but they know. Because I told them. She was very disappointed in me. Maybe I'll admit it later down the line, but as for right now, I'm keeping it to myself. That's all you get. That's all you get. I'm not very proud of it. It's a thing that exists, but I'm not proud of it. And Leona, you can make fun of me for it as much as you want because I deserve it. How did Madoka put up with all this shit? This is an episode that there's scenes in it that like are like engraved into my brain, and then there's some that I just like I don't remember whatsoever. Like the entire thing with Wolf Canyon and Kyoya training with Doji is something I distinctly remember. It's one of my very first memories with Beyblade. Kyoya was one of the characters that um always comes to mind when I think of Beyblade and when I think about it from my childhood, because he's like one of the very first characters that I ever saw in the series. Because I genuinely think I, when I was 8 years old, this is a very distinct memory because I remember I would get up for school and watch this while I was getting ready for school. Um, and I remember this got turned on. My grandma turned this on because she just thought it looked like something I would watch. Because at this point I was already into Dragon Ball, and she knew that. And I think in her brain it was like, oh, Artemis watches something like this. I'll turn this on for them. So that is how I got into this series. It was dead smack in the middle of Fusion. I think it was when the Battle Bladers competition was still going on, but I remember Kyoya came on screen and I was like, his hair looks like character's hair in Dragon Ball. I'm invested. Because 8-year-old me was very easy to entertain. I think I think one of the reasons why I thought Doji was very interesting to me as a child is because his big, it was Dark Wolf, and the spirit of the Bay was a wolf. When I was 8 years old, wolves were my favorite animal, so I was just like, "Ooh, this guy has something to do with wolves. I like him, even though he's the bad guy." And then I got back into it when I was 14, and I was like, Doji's an interesting character. And then I got back into it when I was 16, and I was like, Doji's an interesting character and a very interesting villain. And now I'm 20 and I'm like, Doji's an interesting character. Doji is a very interesting villain. And Doji definitely should have been dwelled into more as a villain because I feel he is genuinely evil. I thoroughly believe that he is genuinely just an evil man. And he is such an interesting villain. He's a very interesting character, and they could have done so much more with him. Oh shit. I should probably log into my Genshin here soon. Thank you for reminding me about the Instagram. And fun fact, I play Genshin Impact. I have a very strong love-hate with that game, believe me. But yeah, I play Genshin. Tell me who your Genshin main is. I main the Luke. He was the first ever 5-star I pulled, and the first ever character I pulled, fun fact, because I got insanely lucky somehow. I was there with my best friend, and it was 3 in the morning, and we set up my Genshin account, and I did my first ever pull, and here came the emo redhead, and all out of tea, and I'm very sad, because that means I gotta go grocery shopping tomorrow, later today. I don't know the fuck you want to say it. It's like, it is 3 in the morning, and here I am watching Beyblade. I kind of want to say it because it's funny, but it's also so disappointing, and I hate myself because of it. Why are you say that out loud, Kinga? I don't know. Something I have always like thought was very wholesome in this series is like Jinga and Kenta's like brotherly dynamic. how it's very much like an older brother and a younger brother. I thought it was very wholesome and very sweet. It's like that for you and Tsubasa too. Like I think that one might be one of my favorites. That one's always been my favorite. I think it's because I've always had a bias towards Tsubasa. I think it's because Tsubasa has always been one of my favorite characters, and I used to want to cosplay him like really, really bad. I don't know, just because Beyblade cosplays seem very, very difficult to find, let alone make. I don't have that time or effort. I mentioned cosplaying Kyo earlier just because that'd be easy. That'd be super easy. God, this also would not be easy. So, um, but I've always had a bias towards Tsubasa, and I know for a fact, growing up, and definitely in like 8th grade and 11th grade when I got back into the series, um, I had a big soft spot for it. I still do, but I definitely really appreciate Jinga and Kenta's like older brother, younger brother dynamic. And I know in Fury, um Ryuga and Kenta end up having that older brother, younger brother dynamic. I barely remember Fury, so still debating on if I want to admit this or not. I don't think I'm gonna admit this as of right now in the series, just because I know I'm gonna get made fun of. I'm gonna get made fun of it regardless, but I'm not looking to get made fun of it this early on. So I'll leave it for now. I will admit it later. But as for right now, no. And Leona, if you expose me, if you're watching this, when I send you that signed Leon print, I'm gonna send a slap with it if you expose me. Leona's like one of my best friends through the internet, by the way. Uh, we love her. We love her very, very much. Very interesting conversations. Why do they always say, "What is that?" anytime Pegasus goes up in the air? Thank you. Like you know that's what Jenga's like in every single battle, you know that's what Jenga's gonna hope for because that's how he can do his special move. That's how he can do Pegasus Star Blast attack. So why do people who know that's how Jenga fights and battles, why do they act surprised? I find it funny that he basically kind of just stays in Madoka, if I'm remembering correctly. Her parents just allow that. Like, your daughter just became friends with this guy, and you're gonna let him stay with you, like, out of nowhere. Something I've always laughed at. I've always laughed at it. I'm just like, you don't even know this kid. I think something I also remember, especially from when I was 14 and 16, I've always liked the music in this series. Granted, the intro constantly gets stuck in my head, and it gets a little irritating because of how repetitively it is and how it just gets stuck in my head every single time. Um, it's still catchy, still low key a bop, but I do like a lot of the instrumentals in this series. It's 3:10 in the morning. I'm high and I kind of need to go to bed. Okay. That was episode 2 and 3. That was something. Very much something. Um, I would have loved to have started with episode 1, but like I said, I already tried reacting to it and I didn't know how to work any of the software. So you just couldn't hear me over the audio, and I'm really hoping you can hear me over the episodes in this one. I changed the setting on it to where the desktop volume wasn't as high, so I'm really, really hoping that fixed it. But this is almost an hour long, so I think I'm gonna stop here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this new little series that I came up with on a whim. I promise I won't be like this in the next one. I just had a very long day. Um, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little series that I decided to make. I'm definitely having fun with it so far because, like I said, I have not been able to watch this series since I was 16 years old, and I am now 20. So I am very intrigued to see how this is gonna go because I don't remember jack shit from this series pretty much. So, that was episode 2 and 3 of the Metal Fight Beyblade series, and I will see you guys in episode 4 and possibly episode 5 within the same video. Maybe it depends on if I gotta work or not the next night, the next day, whatever it is. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy out there.